Happy 70th birthday today. We're glad you chose the tour of Naperville as your birthday present from your centennial. People donated time, money, or materials, or labor. My father and I installed a big chunk of brick along the Riverwalk, which I'll point out in a minute. Right now on the right, we're going to go past a little bit later. To the right, backwards a little bit, you can see a statue of two men. This is Chester Rybecki and Jim Mosier. It's backwards where I'm pointing. All the bricks from those two men up to halfway through the parking lot. He did put that multi-mixer machine in all of his stores. On the left is Vitalman Furniture, which has been around since 1861. Not only did the Vitalmans used to make all their furniture, but they also made caskets because they had a funeral home in town. Back in the early 1900s, you didn't have ambulances. When there was an accident, if you needed someone transported, you would call the undertaker, because they always had a vehicle large enough to carry a body, whether it needed to go to the hospital or to the morgue. This is Washington Street, and back in 1931, when Naperville turned 100, we had a very big parade and a big centennial celebration. Not only did all of Naperville come to that, but all of Chicagoland, because it was a free thing to do during the Depression. On the right, on the side of the bank, is a sculpture of the Naperville Municipal Band. Also on the right, this building is the original Nichols Library. It's now a church. And after sinking 3 ships, he decided he was ready to get out of the shipping business, so he came out to Naperville, which was 1 day by horseback to the west. He settled up his log cabin, and then he built a lumber mill, and he developed Naperville. He drew out a map of Naperville called Napers Flat, and the rest is history, so to speak. Now we're coming this way. I'm going to show you the oldest house in its original location. Naperville has this development called Napers Settlement. Raise your hand if you've been to Napers Settlement. All right, if not, get there. It's beautiful. It's a living history museum. A lot of old Naperville businesses, homes, buildings have been moved there. They have a great museum in the basement of the newly built Preemption House that they made to look like the original one as much as they could. But this house straight ahead, soon to be on our right, this is the oldest house in its original location in Naperville, built in 1834. It has had some additions put on it. We drove everyone to from the train. Gotta ring the bell here. We take them all back later, but in the winter time, this area is frozen to the right of the warming house, and this is a beginner ice skating rink. And up by the sand volleyball courts, they have another open rink as well as hockey rinks in the winter time. The park on the right is the JC Handicap Accessible Playground, where you can go down and slide without ever flying. This is the big quarry. You can rent a paddle boat here. It's also a great place to go fishing. You don't need a fishing license until I believe you're 17. You put a little piece of a worm on a hook. I'll show you where that used to be in a little bit on the tour. And then we've got the red brick house on the left. This is the Carolyn Martin Mitchell mansion. I've got a nice story about her in a second, but first I want to point out Naperville Central High School on our left. They are undergoing a big renovation. It's put on by the Naperville Junior Women's Club, and it's a 1-week program where the kids learn about traffic safety. It used to be set up in the parking lot of a grade school, and it became such a popular program that over probably 12 or 15 years ago, we built this permanent safety town. All these little houses are sponsored by local businesses, and now the kids learn about traffic safety and trained in porch, whether it was 20 below zero or 110 degrees out. Well, what happened was in 1946, Naperville had a terrible train accident. 47 people died and hundreds were injured. One speed snowboard instructor in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. It all started there on the Riverwalk. But it was here in 1946 that we had our worst tragedy. See how there's a flatbed on the train? Well, there was a flatbed carrying a tractor. He pulled over to tighten down the tractor because it was a little loose. Another train came and split it wide open. 47 people died and hundreds were injured. We did not have Edward Hospital, so everyone had to be taken to Aurora, which is the town to the west. Trailer manufacturing shut down and everybody came to help. North Central classes stopped and everybody came to help, and a lot of townspeople came to help. I know my Aunt Bliss was here. On the left, was the old Naperville Lounge Factory. So Peter Trailer took over that small little business and grew it into the largest in the country. Now we're on Jefferson Street, where this used to be a dirt road with dirt sidewalks. In the 1800s, the ladies got tired of their dresses getting dirty, so they had a fundraiser to put plank sidewalks in up and down the street. I don't know what they're filming, but let's get on TV. Wave! We messed that up, huh? Okay, Potter's Place on the right, that used to be called the Big Top, or Topper Dodge. Anybody remember that? There was a juice box at every table. Now that's a Mexican choice. On the left, where the Naperville Running Company used